Hello, my fellow minor league nerds, and welcome to episode 15 of my Throwback Thursday Cap the Day series. This week's episode is one that was specially requested. This week, I'll be talking about the Winnipeg Goldeyes. Baseball has a long history in Winnipeg. The first professional league in Western Canada was formed in the city in 1886. It was a Winnipeg City League with teams called the Hotel Keepers, the Metropolitans, the Winnipegs, the Ottawas, Prairie City, and the Canadian National Railroad Club. The league was popular with gamblers as large bets were placed on the games. It got to the point where teams were bringing in ringers from the United States and Ontario to secure their bets. Some teams paid players a staggering amount for the time of up to $500 a month, plus room, board, and transportation. In 1902, the Independent Northern League was formed with 6 teams, 4 in North Dakota, 1 in Minnesota, and 1 in Manitoba. The Manitoba team would play in Winnipeg, becoming the Winnipeg Maroons in 1903. In that same year, the Northern League joined the National Agreement, becoming a Class D league. Winnipeg would win both the 1902 and 1903 pennants. Over the next 18 seasons, the Maroons would play in various leagues as the Northern League came and went and merged with other leagues during that time. The only year they didn't field a team was 1918. The Northern League, like many lower leagues at the time, shut down in the middle of 1917 due to World War I. They returned in 1919, joining the re-established Western Canada League, playing through the 1921 season when the entire league shut down. They won 1 additional league pennant during that time in 1907 while playing in the Northern Copper Country League. In 1933, the Northern League returned as a Class C league with 8 teams located in Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Manitoba. The Maroons would play in the league until 1942, winning 3 more pennants in 1935, 1939, and 1942. The league would shut down between 1942 and 1945 due to World War II. When it returned in 1946, Winnipeg did not field a team. During their existence, the Maroons would play at Happy Land Park, which was an amusement park that included a ball field, as well as Sherburne Park, which seated 3,500 and was closed down following the 1942 season. In 1948, the Manitoba Senior Baseball League was formed as an independent league. In January 1950, after failing to add a team in Grand Forks, North Dakota, the league added one in Minot, changing its name to the Manitoba Dakota League, commonly referred to as the Mandak League. Winnipeg fielded 2 teams, the Elmwood Giants and the Buffaloes, with both teams playing at Osborne Stadium. The league would operate as an independent for its entire existence. The league and the Buffaloes in particular became a haven for former Negro League players, as most leagues were already folded or were on their last legs since Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. The Buffaloes were headed by Hall of Famer Willie Wells, who acted as player manager until 1954 when he retired from baseball. The Giants had future major leaguer Solly Drake in their lineup. Other future major leaguers and former Negro Leaguers who played in Winnipeg include Hall of Famer Leon Day, Charlie White, Joe Taylor, Andrew Porter, and Lyman Bostic Sr. The Buffaloes and Elmwood Giants would both fold following the 1951 season. The city would be represented by teams called the Giants in 1952 and the Royals in 1953. The league would continue on for 4 additional seasons without a team in the Manitoba capital, folding entirely in 1957. The Northern League would return to Winnipeg in 1954 when the Goldeyes replaced the Sioux Falls Canaries. They would play in the league until 1964, winning 3 league titles in 1957, 1959, and 1960. During those 11 seasons, they would be affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals and play at Winnipeg Stadium. The team folded following the 1964 season. They would return for 1 season in 1969, once again playing in the Northern League, which had become a short season league in 1966. They would be affiliated with the New American League expansion franchise, the Kansas City Royals. They finished in last place with a 26-43 record. The Goldeyes would not return in 1970, and the entire league would shut down following the 1971 season. On June 19, 1970, the Buffalo Bisons of the International League would begin playing in Winnipeg for a season and a half as the Winnipeg Whips. They were the subject of episode 6 of this series, so I won't go into details about them. They left Winnipeg following the 1971 season, which left the city without a professional baseball team for the next 22 years. The Northern League name was resurrected in 1993 when Miles Wolff founded the Independent League. Many cities who lost their affiliated clubs when the standards for MILB were upgraded, forcing their teams to relocate, contacted him through his affiliation with Baseball America, asking how they could get a minor league team. The league began with 6 teams. After that first season, the Rochester Aces relocated to Winnipeg, reviving the name the Goldeyes. Upon their rebirth, they made an immediate impact on the city by capturing the Northern League Championship in that first season. They would retain Doug Simonik, who managed the team in Rochester. They finished the first half in 5th place with a 16-24 record, but would fare much better in the second half, going 27-13 and winning the second half division title. They went on to defeat the Sioux City Explorers 3-1 in the championship series, drawing more than 212,000 fans for an average of 5,314 per game in 1994. The championship marked the first of 10 consecutive playoff appearances, including 7 berths to the Northern League Championship Series for the Goldeyes, a feat still unmatched by any Northern League or American Association team today. Simonik would leave following the 1995 season to manage the expansion Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks. He would be replaced by former Houston Astros manager Hal Lanier, who would lead the Goldeyes for 10 straight seasons, taking them to 8 straight playoff appearances and 5 championship series. Unfortunately for the Goldeyes, though, they would not win one championship in those 10 years, actually losing 3 in a row in 2001, 2002, and 2003. For their first 5 seasons, they would play in Winnipeg Stadium. In 1999, they moved into the newly built Shaw Park, which had a capacity of 6,140. Nearly 300,000 fans packed into the new ballpark for that first season, averaging 6,048 per game, representing a 98.5% capacity rate. In 2000, the Goldeyes drew a Northern League best 271,513 fans and sold out 34 of their 42 home dates. The team's average attendance of 6,456 during that season established a Northern League record and was the highest average of all 50 teams in independent baseball that season. In 2001, the Goldeyes hosted the Northern League All-Star Game. 5,011 fans attended the July 30th skills competition, and a ballpark record crowd of 6,942 were in attendance for the All-Star Game the following night. Fans continued to flock to Shaw Park, as the Goldeyes would not only lead the Northern League in attendance, often drawing over 300,000 fans per season, but they would lead all of independent baseball. In some cases, they would outdraw affiliated AAA clubs. In 2003, 1,200 more box seats were added, along with 6 suites. Following the 2005 season, the Goldeyes became the longest tenured franchise in the Northern League after the St. Paul Saints, Lincoln Salt Dogs, Sioux City Explorers, and Sioux Falls Canaries broke away to form the American Association with 5 teams from the disbanding Central Baseball League. After the 2010 season, they, along with the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, Gary South Shore Railcats, and the Kansas City T-Bones, followed by joining the league and bringing an end to the Northern League after 18 seasons. In 2006, Rick Forney was hired as the team's 3rd manager. He would stay for 17 seasons, leading them to 3 more league championships in the American Association in 2012, 2016, and 2017. They defeated the Wichita Wingnuts all 3 times. In 2017, the championship was won with some controversy. In Game 4, it looked as if the Wingnuts had won the series after a groundout. The team began celebrating on the pitcher's mound. However, an umpire had called a balk on the pitcher. When the game restarted, the Goldeyes ended up tying it up, which caused the game to go for 17 innings, lasting for 5 hours and 59 minutes, with Winnipeg coming out on top 4-3. In Game 5, the Goldeyes would score 9 runs in the 2nd inning, holding on to win 18-2. In 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Goldeyes were unable to play at Shaw Park. They were one of 6 teams that competed in a 60-game season. They played their home games at Newman Outdoor Field in Fargo, North Dakota, home of the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks. When the 2021 season began, the border restrictions between the United States and Canada were still in force. The Goldeyes began playing the season at the ballpark at Jackson in Jackson, Tennessee, former home of the Jackson Generals. On July 22nd, they were granted permission by the Canadian federal and the Manitoba provincial governments to return to Shaw Park beginning August 3rd. Following the 2021 season, the Goldeyes announced a change to their logo starting in the 2022 season. Well, my fellow minor league nerds, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks for sticking with me, and thank you for all your support on the YouTube channel. If you'd like to receive notification every time a new video is uploaded, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So until next week, stay safe, and remember, always support minor league baseball, and never stop learning about minor league baseball history.